Robinhood versus Coinbase is a rivalry that increasingly has been heating up as they both compete on similar trading tools. But last year, while Robinhood stock nearly tripled, Coinbase shares fell 12%. My colleague Yueqi Yang wrote a deep dive looking at that delta over the weekend, and I want to bring her on to talk all about it. Yueqi, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hey, Akash.
It's the most exciting rivalry of the season, Robin versus not Robin, Robinhood versus Coinbase. Why has Robinhood stock done so much better than Coinbase? This is not even like, this is crazy. I didn't know the numbers until you did it. Down 12%, 100 and something percent for Robinhood. What's going on?
So this is a rivalry that's years in the making, but really last year we started to see the stocks of Coinbase and Robinhood to diverge. And investors like Robinhood stock because it's a more diversified bet. As you know, Robinhood offers stocks trading, they offer crypto trading, they have a big options business, and crypto is only 20% of Robinhood's total revenue, whereas Coinbase generates all of its revenue from the crypto industry. And I also noticed that Robinhood last year really took advantage of the regulatory environment under Trump by moving very quickly and launching new products aggressively. And one case in point is prediction markets. Robinhood launched prediction market in late 2024, initially offering the bet on the 2024 US presidential election, and it quickly doubled down by adding more bets. And Robinhood said that prediction markets has since become its fastest growing business line by revenue in its entire history.
Hmm. So one of the interesting parts here is for the longest time, the way when I covered crypto a couple years ago, Coinbase shares sort of seem to have mirrored Bitcoin's performance. And I feel like Coinbase has tried to get away from that a little bit with its subscription offerings and make its revenue and its profitability a little bit less volatile. I feel like Coinbase still hasn't really been able to get away from that tying to Bitcoin prices at large, right?
Yes, and Bitcoin was down on the year last.
Right.
Um, I think you're right. Coinbase generates all of its revenue from the crypto industry. I would say that it has done a good job building up a bigger portion of the revenue from subscription businesses and services, which are more sticky than just trading fees. And Coinbase now is entering stock markets, stock offerings, as well as prediction markets. So one big thing will be watch out for next year is to what extent Coinbase can gain traction with their non-crypto products.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that this is more a story of Robinhood really excelling, or is it Coinbase falling behind?
I think they're competing head on and really so. And
I think it's Robinhood excelling. I'm gonna be upfront with it. I mean, hard to argue that 180 something percent growth over the course of a year is not a company excelling. But I feel like it's a little faster to innovate, and there's more products. I mean, they have the credit cards too. They're really getting a much more diverse pool of traders, right?
yeah, but I would say that Coinbase and Robinhood actually have a lot of overlap with your users because they're both going after young users who love retail users, who love speculations and trading, who are largely US based. So this is a competition that will only intensify.
Now, do they make money the exact same way? Because I know that Robinhood payment for order flow was that way of Robinhood keeping charges basically to nothing, right? For traders, they weren't making money off their traders. It was more off the I guess the market makers that they were routing the trades to. Coinbase, I think, still takes a transaction fee off their trades. So, are the business models entirely different here, or are they quite similar still?
Coinbase crypto trading is still their biggest revenue generator, and Coinbase does charge a high fee, especially from retail users for offering crypto tradings. And they have been able to maintain that fee for years just because they're so popular and so dominant in the US, and they haven't really faced too much pricing pressure to reduce your fee. For the stock product, which is a new product at Coinbase, Coinbase will also offer zero fee trading. So in that sense, on the stock product, they're charging it's the same business model as Robinhood's stock product.
And going back to what you were talking about at the very start, prediction markets seems to be the new in thing that both of these companies are exploring closely. And there's also this notion, Robinhood is getting into, I guess, giving exposure to private companies to whatever extent it can. How do you think this story plays out this year? And prediction season is over now. We're in the middle of January, but do you see the companies being a little bit more closely tied together in terms of performance? Do you see prediction markets changing the landscape altogether? And maybe, I don't know, maybe Polymarket comes in. We don't know how where people will go really.
I think prediction market is important going into 2026. There are some big events that people are watching out for. The World Cup is going to happen this year, and that's something that a lot of people are excited about betting on prediction markets for. The U.S. midterm elections will also happen. So prediction market is really rely on these big news events and cultural events and sports events, and there are several that are scheduled to occur this year. And for Coinbase, so we'll see how their stock trading product perform. A lot of users already have their stock investing capability elsewhere. So we'll see to what extent they're able to gain traction there.
Great. I was just watching the Golden Globes last night, and I saw that they too had their Polymarket partnership. I guess they were predicting who was going to win the next award. Anyway, it's all moving very quickly, and I want to thank you for coming on to help us make sense of it. That is Yueqi Yang, our crypto reporter here at The Information.